Hey folks, this is Jeff Young from Kings of Thrash, and you're listening to my compadre here and Brutally Delicious. It's a delectable music show, isn't it?
The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, and we're here with Jeff Young from Kings of Thrash. How you doing, man?
Here I am.
Hey, thanks for doing this.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, so how's the tour going?
Fantastic. We're having the time of our life. Collective lives.
Really? It's good vibes all around.
I never thought that I'd ever be in an actual band in this lifetime where everyone got along. I mean, there's not many bands in history where the members get along. Of course, there are some that stay together, like ZZ Top. I think they were together for their entire, career until Dusty died. But obviously, my first major label band was dysfunctional, and I did do the Brazilian project and had great success with that. But it was a duo, so it's kind of like finding your high school love and being with someone, having that magic romance in your life. Some people get it and some people don't. And I was kind of writing off the band experience. I was actually trying to get into soundtrack work a little more and just doing a solo instrumental album, which I've got 3 tracks out. And then this opportunity came along, and now here I am with a band of brothers where we get along. We write the songs together. We're sitting backstage yesterday composing. 3 of us, me and Fred the drummer, wrote the chorus to the new song in the front of the bus. And no one's possessive, oh, don't write when I'm not there, trying to control shit. We write whenever anyone's in the room, and we all contribute, and that's really I think that's a rare thing in a band.
I hear you. Never toured before, but what was the last time you were on tour before this? And how's it compare?
Well, I've done some touring with a singer I worked with for a while named Sherry, out of Jeff Young and Sherry. You might have seen some stuff online that we've put out. We did a couple U.S. tours, even opened for Great White. There's a video of us doing Stranglehold note for note with a local St. Louis pickup band.
Really?
And came off real good.
So, obviously, 2023 is a really weird time to be on tour. The price of diesel's through the roof, so I'm told. I live here.
Scamdemic, and everyone's acting retarded in the wake of it.
Yeah. How's this compare? It sounds like you guys are doing pretty well, but from what I'm hearing,
we're doing great. But you can definitely feel the difference, in the world, in the business, and the attendance. Even for bigger bands. I don't want to name any, but think of some big bands that are out right now with attendance 60% of what they would normally do, which would be sell out. And I think it's partially because people have been so entrained through the Scamdemic to just stay in their house, which is exactly part of the intent that they did that, but just stay home, don't go out, be afraid to go out in public. Even when you sat down, you were like, I'm cool, I'm not... Plus the money, people don't have the same money that they had pre-Scamdemic because of a lot of the mom and pops where people work.
Yeah.
So I think people don't have the luxury as much as they used to go out and enjoy concerts, even if they want to. Having said that, we're really blessed that we got really hardcore people coming out. We just played in a small town in Pennsylvania and had 18 VIPs, and that ain't cheap, and it's quite a few VIPs to come shell out that kind of money to come meet us, after sound check and just get stuff signed. So we're really excited. We're a brand new band with no record out when we start out. Of course, our DVD, CDs are coming out here March 24th, but no single on the radio. No track record other than the 4 gigs we did back in October. So we're kind of doing this in a unorthodox way, kind of making up our own rules as we go along. And it's working. We're getting ready to go to Australia.
Australia tour.
We're going. We got 4 dates in Australia. We'll be announcing soon Mexico later, South America, etc., and more U.S. dates. And we're recording in May. So the originals and stuff in Arizona with a buddy of Elfson's.
I was gonna ask. So it's like you guys are writing songs. Looks like you debuted an original song live like
Yeah.
a week ago or so. So do you have plans for original music? You're gonna do a full album, EP? Like what's going on there?
The original music was the original and only plan we ever had.
Really?
We never planned to even do these 2 albums in their entirety. Dave and I had connected through the Nick Menza documentary, and through that filming, actually the night before the filming, we ate a dinner at the Rainbow in the back booth. Slash calls it his booth. I call it the
Yeah,
American Satan booth.
Like the Lemmy Rainbow?
Yeah, the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And right as we were getting up to pay the bill, I literally whispered one of the riffs from Bridges Burned in his ear that we had written back in the day. He's, I totally remember that, dude. We got to get in a room. So, you know, we had 4 songs already composed. One of them, Bridges Burned, and our second, we got a title, Bullets Ready. Those were all composed before we even thought to do this. Then an event in LA at the Whiskey, you might be familiar with the Ultimate Jam. It happens kind of bi-weekly, and it's local musicians, some of the best in LA, and also oftentimes some big name people sit in. You know, everyone from, you know, Ralph from Steel Panther to Phil X to Steve Nuno. So many people over the years have sat in, more than I could even name. And the theme was Big Four. So they invited me to play, of course, and I said, well, I'm writing with Elfson. You want me to call him? And he flew in from Arizona. That's the night Kings of Thrash was born, because they match-made us with Chaz, because he's in a Megadeth tribute band, Woke Up Dead, and he got up with us unrehearsed, and we did Darkest Hour and Peace Sells, and we had a female singer on Mary Jane.
Nice.
All those videos are unrehearsed and on my channel, and that was the seed, because those videos went viral and our management saw it, and the booking agent said, you guys got to do this. And then they came up with the idea of doing So Far and Killing in their entirety. It was actually the management's idea, and we said, well, you know, say we came out as Kings of Thrash or whatever band name you want to attach to us, and put out an EP or an album of originals, who's going to pay attention this day and age? But now, again, we didn't plan it, and it's unorthodox. By going out and doing what we're doing, we establish ourselves that we can play, that we can do all this stuff we used to do, and even better with our maturity and our, you know, enhanced musical skills over the years. Everyone sees we're still clear-headed, looking good, and we've got 2 young bucks in between us with Fred and Chaz, you know, 2 beasts. So now we come out, after having done this and setting the stage, so to speak, I think our original stuff's going to get a lot more of a listen. I think the proof's in the pudding, because our YouTube channel, the original's the biggest hits and plays by far. I mean, we had like 14K in a matter of days. So that shows us that A, people want originals from this band, and we're working steadfast on that. But in the meantime, let's have fun and go out and give the fans what they come up to us at horror conventions and say, please, why don't you guys play anything from Killing? Like, even when Dave was still in Megadeth, why don't you ever play anything from So Far? And so he had that seed in his head already, so it was kind of a no-brainer to do this, and it gives us time to not rush in to do the originals, but really craft them and bring them up to the standard that we want. And like Bridges Burned, we put up the first night we ever played it live. It's not how it's going to end up in the studio. We're going to craft it and sculpt it and refine it. And every night you see the second performance on our YouTube. It's even better, and we see people writing us now saying, wow, man, it's getting better every take. Someone came up to me last night at the gig, said, I love that new original. It's so good, you guys. And it's got elements of what our followers would enjoy, but it's a lot wider. Where thrash is a very narrow. It's a very narrow fan base. We have those influences, but we're also including other elements in there, whether it's world music, you know, other bands that we like, funk, whatever aspects that we can put in there. Plus, we got 2 seniors here and 2 younger guys who grew up with they grew up loving a lot of the bands that we love, but they also have their own set of influences, and they come from a different perspective. So when we're all 4 writing, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. That I've written with 1 person, but I've never written with 4 people so effortlessly. And this is Fred, our drummer here in Chaz.
You guys want to join the camera for a second?
Well, we got sound check in like 3 minutes.
Okay, so we'll wrap this up quickly.
How you doing? I'm
There's
Fred.
Thanks.
Ow!
Thanks, guys. So I guess just like 2 other quick questions. Chuck Baylor, is that how it's pronounced?
Chuck Beeler.
Beeler, thank you. He stepped up like last week, right?
How cool is that?
That was
We
great.
hadn't played together since Castle Downington, the Monsters of Rock.
88 or something?
Yeah, that was my last show with the band, his last show. So for him to come up, and he did In My Darkest Hour and Anarchy with us. He was crying that night. I mean, watching us, the dude was in tears. Seeing this and reliving, I can imagine it was very emotional for him. It was for all of us. This whole thing is, and you can imagine we're living these songs that we played back then. You know, I didn't play all of Killing, but I was doing 4 or 5 from Killing, and of course all of So Far So Good, So What. So to come, it's just a very surreal, magical thing that we're involved in, and whatever people in the social media world, we're getting mostly love, but anyone that wants to ixnay us or belittle it, I think they're missing the point, you know.
So are there plans for any other ex-members of that band to join? Like, you know, it sounds like Chris B's a really nice guy. Like any plans
Well,
like
how
that?
about Sean Drover's getting up to jam with us on the last day of this tour in
what,
about
in Atlanta?
6 days in Atlanta.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
He's going to get up and do a couple songs with us.
He always seemed like such a great guy. I never
Yeah,
got to meet him,
he
but-
sent me a friend request the day he quit Megadeth. And we've been friends ever since. You know, all of us, the ex...
Is there like an AA equivalent for all of you?
it's some kind of a commiseration society, to be sure. And, you know, tonight we got the guitars from Riot joining us for a special Riot tune in our encore. Rick Ventura from Riot,
Swords and
which is it's a band that I actually, as a kid, was standing front row at Hare Arena in Dayton, Ohio, and saw them on that tour. I forget who they opened up for, Ted Nugent or somebody, but I was loving that band. And you know, all we metal fans know how great that Riot album, Fire Down Under, is like one of the greatest hard rock albums ever recorded. Every song is killer, no filler. So the fact he's getting up with us, I'm starting to get goosebumps, and he'll be here anytime for sound checks. So he may be up there now.
Fucking great. It is. Pre-COVID, it was a show based out of Virginia. I'm not the main guy, but his name's Bruce. He would invite musicians on tour. He's had Elfson before into his show to like do some kind of cooking thing.
Yeah,
he done?
he had done that. Yeah.
Oh,
very
wow.
Cool.
Anyway, thank you so much, Jeff.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much, and thanks everybody for listening and supporting the band. We appreciate it so much.
Rock on, everybody.